Hi everyone, Quadra's matrix has been transformed. Now it has a metal framework which is rigidly connected to the matrix with the support fixings. In the construction, I used some rigid elements of trusses which were connected by the metal bridges and spacers to each other. All these things will make the matrix stable when I'll be making Quadra V-Tech as body in it. I decided not to dismantle the matrix and remove the foam from it, as in this case some dimensions would definitely be missed and it could become wry. So as I thought the best option would be to fix it in a metal frame and to pull the foam out of the solid matrix. Besides, I'll make the racks for this structure for some extra convenience, and the matrix will be able to rotate along the horizontal axis. It's very convenient during the sizing of such large parts where there can be some shear elements. For the racks I took the used pipes that once were heating the batteries in the workshop. I decided not to make them long as the height of the ceiling won't allow it. I think 150 centimeters will be enough. I welded pipes into a T-shaped construction and welded legs so that the rack didn't fall. I also welded the stops to the pipe for stiffness. After all, it'll have to lift about 300 kilograms. A sleeve will go through the pipe, which will be connected to the frame with a pipe section. I decided not to make bearings as the construction easily twisted even without them. I made the same rack near the front bumper. Then installed a winch that will help me to lift the matrix till the needed height. The winch force for 250 kilograms was not enough to lift the construction. I used a pulley which increased the load capacity of the winch by half. After lifting the construction until the required height, I welded the limiters to the racks, and after that I tried to turn over the matrix. The lower pipes went neatly with the floor. I think it'll be enough. The construction is held on the sides on the racks, on the center it abuts by the frame into the floor. And for insurance the whole construction is held by the winch, so it definitely won't fall and it is possible to work calmly. The next step will be the foam extraction from the matrix. I really hoped it would be easy to put it out, but it wasn't. The foam stuck tightly to the matrix and the spatula also stuck to the gel coat. And this happened despite the fact that I used a separative spirit, which gives a 100% removing. Too bad I gave up wax in favor of the spirit, trusting the advice from the various websites. But still I have to take it off, and first I'm gonna take the whole foam off. The most convenient way to do this is to use a sapper shovel. Aluminium profile was hard to pull out of the mold. We need to slightly complete the side ribs with the emery paper. And that's the area we have to clean from putty and epoxy resin. I even don't speak about the bumper. I've got heaps of garbage again, but I'll take it away after cleaning the entire matrix. I started cleaning with the hood. There was a wax on it, so everything was perfectly removed. There was a spray wax on the headlamps and everything went well too. As a result, we have a good hood matrix practically without any defects. And then there appeared some problems. In some places the layer could be easily moved away, but mainly it stuck tightly, and I had to scrape those places with a knife. I softened the top layer with water so it became a little easier to remove the putty. It took me less than a week before I scraped the front part. Then I used a hot air. The putty softened and was removed by a knife without any damages. Here you can see the red spot of the separative spirit that stuck to the putty. The rest of the separator simply stuck to the gel coat. Later I found out that I used a poor quality spirit, which compound was far from normal. That's what caused those problems. After the matrix clearing, I made the right angle on the ribs so that the glued part could be pulled out of the mold. But if it won't work out, I'm ready to saw the matrices. I glued plastic onto the openings to eventually produce the flaps to secure further covering. This time, I used the wax. I put it on the mold with a sponge, then wiped the excess with cloth and repeated this procedure 4 times with intermediate drying. I also bought wax in a spray and treated some problem places. After wax drying, we can apply the gel coat on the matrix. It is transparent, and this time I added some black color into it. Then added a hardener and applied it to the matrix. There were 2 layers of this gel. Then there goes a glass fiber mat with density of 150 grams per square meter. This time I'll soak it with a blue Italian polyester resin, which has much more quality than the red one, just what is needed for the car body. I soaked the entire glass mat with a roller. Almost forgot about the technique I used while gluing the matrices. I put a piece of plastic on the floor, put some glass mat on it, and soaked with the resin. After that, we only need to apply the pieces to the matrix and mold them in place. I've done those ribs just for nothing. They took a lot of time. I should have made a plane instead of them, and only then to glue the plastic strips previously molded in forms to it. The glass mat now is laid, everything looks rather well, and the surface with this polyester resin turned out to be matte. While working with the second layer, the gel went out, so I had to go out and buy a bit more, but of a different color. Now we need to turn over the matrix and to glue from the other side. After the gel coat solidified, I covered it with the same glass mat in 2 layers. I let the polyester resin dry for a day, then removed all the needles and imperfections with the emery paper, and began to paste the matrix at first with 300th glass mat and then with 450th. I made the laminate thickness about the same as the matrices. Now we can say that the fiberglass body of Quadra V-Tech is ready. I made reinforcements on large flat sections from the same glass mat by gluing a corrugated hose. Also cut off all the unnecessary fringe around the edges. Now we need to put the construction on the floor and remove all matrix elements from the body. The mass increased notably due to the glued body, but the winch fulfilled the task. In order to remove the matrices, it is necessary to get rid of the load-bearing frame. You don't need to worry about the metal, as it will be further used for the frame of Cybertruck and other homemade products. I'll start removing matrices from the roof. I turned all bolts, tried to pull, but nothing happened. The flangings turned out to be glued slightly to each other. After all, there was a separative spirit. I used the winch and the matrix quietly came off from its seat. Now I'll use only wax and no separating spirit. How nice it is to see the surface of the finished body, as I was moving to it more than 1 month. I was very surprised that the matrices with the ribs came off without much difficulty. Of course, the laminate was not of the highest quality, but I think it turned out not bad for the first time and such volume. Now I want to tell you some plans for the future. I consulted with knowledgeable people on registration issue of such car. They showed me in what direction to move on and whom to appeal to. I've appealed to several companies that deal with registering of converted cars. I told them everything I wanted to do and got a specific answer. Using a donor, it's not possible to touch its power frame, which means you must not touch the metal of a car at all, to carry the racks, to cut the roof and so on. There is only one option, to find a donor that will be smaller than Quadra's body and will match according to the racks. After hours of searching, I found the only option, and it was SL Mercedes, issued at 2001. It has 300 horsepower under the hood and a rear drive, just what we need. I compared base and size, and this is almost ideal variant. Another benefit is that it's a cabriolet and there's no need to remove the roof. Other details will be in the next videos. In the meantime, thanks everyone for your attention. If you like it, share this video, put your thumbs up, sign up. See you in the next video.